Can Derek Carr overcome the sub-freezing temperatures in Pittsburgh tomorrow night? Let's find out. Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions. This is Eric, and we are live once again on a Friday evening. How you guys doing out there? I see a bunch of you in here. My background is different. My background is different. It is different. We can talk about that in the Q&A section, of course. I have moved. We can talk about that a little bit, but I want to talk about this game preview of tomorrow night's game. Of course, we got to play in Pittsburgh. Christmas Eve. Game time starts at 5:15 Pacific. The forecast is going to be 11 or 12 degrees at kickoff. There may or may not be any snow. And we all know there's a stigma about Derek Carr playing in below 40-degree temperatures. We'll talk about that. I'll give you that as a question. I actually put that also in a question. Will Carr overcome the sub-freezing temperatures in Pittsburgh? Put it in the live chat right there. Go ahead and vote. Make your voices heard. And of course, if you're watching this on a replay, why not subscribe? Hit the like button and set your notifications to all, so you'll be notified of all of our future live streams, including this one and of course our game review. So if you are new to the program, I want to say hello to you. Sandy B, Officer Rollout, a few other people. I want to say hello. And if you are new to this, this is how we normally work it. It's called the Rundown. We have our topics for the day. And then we're going to have our question and answer segment. If you want to come on, I put a link in the description. That is the pinned comment here on YouTube. So go ahead and click on that when we get to the question and answer segment. You'll be put in the green room and you'll be put on live. You don't have to be on camera, of course, but I want to hear you sound off and what you think not only of the Raiders, but my game preview of this game against the Steelers. So without further ado, let's get to the champion count. Of course. Now, it's all about you guys. Champion count's kind of getting stalled on YouTube, to be honest with you, and I have some reasoning behind that, and talked about that a little bit before the move, and after the move we're going to be making a little bit of changes, especially in the first of the year, so look forward to that. TikTok is still growing, over 1,500. Well done, thank you very much. I will be simulcasting soon to TikTok. We're still in the motion of getting the moving going, so with that, let's get right to our game preview against those vile Steelers. Well, let's first talk about our question of the week. Of course, I always put a question of the week, and I asked, what would be your most concerning thing about Week 16 against the Steelers? And I just put pictures here. So this is T.J. Watt, this is Najee Harris, of course, Derek Carr, and then overall the weather. 80% of you put that down, and yeah, I'm going to get into that very shortly, and I will talk about that on both sides of the ball, as well as my final prediction, and we can discuss that a little bit more in the question and answer segment. Now, of course, we always start on the defensive side of the ball for the Raiders, but during our game previews, the first thing we want to do is look at the final injury report put out by both teams. And here we are. We're going to start with the Raiders here. Of course, Rocky Sin is out once again with the knee problem. Everybody else is kind of listed as questionable. We'll see how this offensive line shakes out. We got a couple that were on the report. Illuminor is good to go. I think he'll be good to go. Jackson Barton, will he be activated? He was not activated last week. Alex Bars, of course. We had Grossi in for him. We'll see. I thought Bars was bad. That Grossi guy is even worse, to be honest with you. So I guess it's all about perspective. So welcome back, Alex Bars. The Pittsburgh side, nobody is listed as out. We got a few questionables. Miles Jack, former first-round pick of the Jags. Deontay Johnson's there with a toe. We'll talk about that a little bit here once we get to this. And then the two guys I'm probably most concerned about on the defensive side, Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, a guy I said we should have gotten in free agency, did not go get. Steelers eventually went and got him. Very versatile player on the interior defensive line. They're just basically resting him. I'm thinking they'll both be playing in this game. So let's get to the first key of the game on the defensive side of the ball. Of course, what I said, it's going to be 11 or 12 degrees out as a forecast during kickoff. This game is going to be a cold game. It could very well be snowing. Hey, Earth Daughter, I see you in here as well. Thanks for coming on in. And I'm going to relate my keys directly to that because the weather is going to be a huge part, in my opinion, in this game. And let's get to the first one. That's slowing down Najee Harris, but not only Najee, but the rest of the running back group of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Harris is getting a little bit more share, but he is not necessarily a bell cow back. Maybe last week he was, but the other weeks not so much. And I want to slow this overall running game to less than 120 total rushing yards and less than 6 rushing first downs. And this is why, okay, the Steelers have gotten over the century mark 6 of the last 7 games, 3 of the last 4, and the one that they did in the last 4 games was against Baltimore, and they lost that game in a close one. Same thing with the rushing first downs. They have been in double-digit rushing first downs 3 of the last 4 games, 13 against Carolina, 11 against Atlanta, and the Indianapolis Colts, but only 3 against the Baltimore Ravens. Now remember, that game, if you did not know, Lamar Jackson didn't even play. So it was indicative on the Ravens defense to slow down this running game and make Mitchell Trubisky try to beat them, and he could not. And as a matter of fact, Trubisky threw 3 interceptions in that game. So I think that's going to be a big key to slow this team down as far as the running game. Now, Kenny Pickett should be back off concussion protocol and starting, but I'm going to put my second key to the game right here related to that is this front 4. Now, if you look at this offensive line, to me, it's kind of subpar, average to below average, especially on the edges. We should be able to get some pressure in, especially from Crosby and Chandler Jones. I'm looking at least 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. I did that last week as well. But I'm also adding 2 turnovers. Part of the reason is you have a rookie quarterback, and other part of the reason is it's a weather factor. Now, they're not going to be able to run the ball every down, but still, I don't care how they get these turnovers. I don't care if it's a strip sack. They poke it away from one of the running backs. They tip a ball that ends up getting intercepted. I do not care. I think we need at least 2 turnovers in this game. It's going to be kind of a drudging kind of a game, especially if it starts snowing. I'm a little bit concerned about our passing game. So if we can get turnovers, shortens the field, we can actually get points out of those. Maybe 3 instead of 0 or 7 instead of 3. Now, I will not be going live. I usually go live during halftime. I will not be going live, of course. It's going to be Christmas Eve evening. I'm going to be busy with some other activities, of course, and most of you are as well. But I will be coming back live Christmas night to do the full game review. So open your presents, have a nice dinner, and come join us then. Now, as far as the offensive side of the ball for the Raiders goes, this is going to be a much harder matchup for us. I'm a little bit concerned about the running game, but honestly, we have the best running back in the league, at least rated by PFF, leading the league in rushing yards right now is Josh Jacobs, of course. Like I said, defensive or offensive player of the year candidate for sure. I want at least 120 rushing yards. I want at least 1 rushing touchdown and 8 rushing first downs. And I say at least 8 because this team, especially against the Ravens, they gave up 13 rushing first downs against the Ravens, as the Steelers defense did. I think we can control the game. And of course, it's weather dependent. This is going to be a tough game. It's going to be 11 degrees out. I'm not looking for a lot of deep balls in this game. Maybe some crossing routes from Devontae and Waller, of course. But the game's going to be controlled, and the trench is going to be controlled by running this football. And I think whoever runs the football better is going to win this game. Now, my second key to the game, along with that, is I want to see some error-free activity from Derek Carr. This is huge. I'm going to say max 2 sacks. I know a lot of that's dependent on the offensive line, but he cannot hold the ball as long as he does. Sometimes he gets it off quick, and sometimes he just holds on the ball too long and creates a sack. He needs to throw the ball away where he can, and no turnovers. We cannot give this Steeler defense any kind of momentum. Micah Fitzpatrick back there can't wait to try to pick off another pass. You got to look out for these guys. The interior line is going to be an issue with us. Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi, as they play, they're going to be tough. This interior offensive line is going to be tested. Grasso, I hope to God, does not play. He is terrible. He makes Alex Bars look good. So I'm hoping Alex Bars is back to at least kind of sway that. But it's going to be up to Carr, because I see this as a distinct disadvantage, especially on the interior offensive line. Carr's going to have to throw it away. Look down, check down. Do not stare down Devontae Adams. Do not make mistakes as he's done in the past. Now, as far as my prediction goes, Steelers are giving up about 16 points a game average on last 4 games. We're going to be at below freezing here. This is going to be a rough and tumble game. And I'm going to stick with my prediction that I had in the beginning of the season, where we're going to lose this game to the Steelers. It's going to be an ugly game. I'm guessing 16-13 the final. I think weather's going to be a factor in this. Steelers are much more acclimated to that. Not only that, remember, last season we went into their house in September and we whooped them. We hit them by double digits. It wasn't even close. So there's going to be a little bit of a revenge factor, I think, there. Plus, we have the 50th anniversary of the illegitimate reception. I mean, the immaculate whatever. Franco had passed a couple days ago. Franco Harris, of course. So they're going to want a little revenge on that. They're going to want to win one for Franco, just like they did. Maybe steal another one like they did back in 1972. Hey, Al's Ghost. But I want to hear what you have to say. I see Al's Ghost in here. How you doing? Put your comments in here. Put them in here. I want to see your prediction right now in live chat. And of course, if you are not watching this live, what is going on? You should be subscribed. Hit the bell notification so you are notified of all my live streams and you can interact with us as well. So that goes that. I want to know what you guys have to think about this game, what you guys have to think about my keys to the game, and what your game prediction is. What do you think this final score is going to be with the Steelers? I think it's going to be a much lower score, of course. There might be snow, there might not. The forecasts have been kind of changing. This morning it said there would be snow within the hour of the kickoff. Now they're kind of not so much, but it's still going to be 11, 12 degrees during the game. It's just going to be rough and tumble. It's going to be an ugly game, in my opinion. It's going to come down to who makes the mistakes and who can run the ball better. That's my opinion. So, hey, Carlos, I see you in here. 23-14, Raiders win. Oh, I hope so. I hope so. And to me, in this game, for us to score 23, we're going to have to get some kind of defensive score. Like I said, I want at least 2 turnovers from our front 4 generated. Like I said, if it's a strip sack, I'll take it. If it's tipping a pass and it gets picked off in the secondary, I'll take that. They created that. I think something like that's going to happen. Another defensive score. I think we've got 2 weeks in a row now, including the Chandler Jones thing we talked about last week against the Patriots. Some crazy stuff. Sandy B says the Raiders will win, but what score? I don't know. I think with Pickett in there, there's a chance. I'm wondering how he's going to handle the pressure too as a rookie quarterback in that situation. Now, we've talked about Derek Carr, and I put that in my question and answer right there. Is this whole thing about Carr playing in the cold legit? A lot of people say once it hits 40 degrees or less, he's terrible. To me personally, there might be a smidge to it, but keep in mind, he played, he's playing against teams like the Chiefs, who are just dominant. And, they usually beat us anyway, regardless of the temperature, because they've been so good. We've been kind of playing them close lately, but still, we lost by 1 point last time we played them. So in their house, it wasn't 40 degrees. It was much warmer then, but still, I think the numbers are a little bit skewed on that. I'm a little bit more concerned about how the wind is going to be. I know we've had some games like in Cleveland where the wind is so bad in that crappy stadium you can't even throw the ball more than 10 yards. And it was just one of those ugly games. Again, we had to lean a little bit more on the running game, and we've been doing that all season, so it shouldn't be much surprise to actually lean on Josh Jacobs in this running game. I want to see Zamir White get involved a little bit more. We moved up to get this guy. I don't understand why that hasn't happened yet. I think we're kind of playing with fire with Josh Jacobs here, but again, we're 6-8, so I mean we'd have to run the table, and even then get some luck to even get in the playoffs. So, what's good, Psycho Jackal? I see you in the house. I want to hear your prediction. We will win tomorrow. Give me a score. I know you guys are saying Raiders. I want the Raiders to win, but I like to be realistic. I think if I have to give a score, it's 16-13 Steelers. I want this team to show me that they can play in crappy weather. That has not really happened yet. So until that happens, I put this as my prediction at the beginning of the year that this would be a loss. So we'll see what happens if they win. Hey, prove me wrong. That's great. I would love that. But give me a score with that, Psycho Jackal. Put it in the comments. Also, vote in the live chat. Will Carr overcome the sub-freezing temperatures? We had a lot of no's early. It looks like the yeses are dominating now. 73% of you have said yes to 27% saying no. I hope so. If you looked at my thumbnail, I took the little shining picture of him, Jack Torrance freezing to death, and I put him on there. It's going to be cold. Now, whether or not we have snow, that's to be determined. Some forecasts are saying yes, well, there's a chance of snow about an hour into the game. Other ones are saying no. It will be cold either way. It's going to be tough treading. You're going to be in Pittsburgh again. We went in there. You have to remember, last year we went in their house. Ben Roethlisberger played like crap. We won by double digits. This was when Gruden was still there. This is before all the nonsense that happened. It was early. It was in September. I think it was our second game. So weather was not a factor. It was a decent day, like 60s or something. So, but we dominated them. Plus, like I said, the immaculate reception, illegitimate incompletion was what I call it. 50-year anniversary this weekend. Franco Harris passing away. Rest in peace. Last couple days back. There's a lot on Pittsburgh, and not just that. If they can run the table, they can still have a winning season. So we're looking at that, possibly a playoff run. I don't think Mike Tomlin's had a losing season as head coach there yet. I believe you guys can prove me wrong, but he'd have to run the table to do that. So there's a lot. I think there's a lot more going on with Pittsburgh right now. Again, with Franco passing and all that, probably win one for him and all that. Hard for the Domers to play in the flakes. Well, it was hard for the Raiders when they were in Oakland, right? Open air stadium. You don't get snow in Oakland usually, so a lot of rain, a lot of mud, but not a lot of snow. So it is what it is. So this is our last away game, thank goodness. We had 9 this year, of course. The 17th game. They flip-flop it. Last year we had 9 home games. This year we had the Saints, the shutout. I gave the eulogy after the game because this team was done. Didn't get past 50-yard line until about 2 minutes left in the game. So, but they're playing tough. I think a lot of it is because of the leadership here. You got your Max Crosby, Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. Your vets coming in and stepping up. If it wasn't for that, I don't know, we'd have maybe 3 or 4 wins this year, to be honest with you. I have not been impressed so far from the coaching standpoint with Josh McDaniels. He has cut down on the stupid things he's done. I can't say that certain word. I got in trouble on TikTok for calling him a certain word. It starts with an R, but I don't want to say that. But he has cut down on that a little bit. So I still think the I still think the offense is a little bit too predictable. It's good to have Darren Waller back, of course, another threat where you had that one in the seam. Um, I think the Patriots, again, if we go back to last week, the Patriots, I think the Patriots were so bad. They looked worse than we looked good, to be honest with you. They had that first drive in the red zone. They totally screwed that up. That one drive with Waller getting the touchdown, it was the exact same play. Again, they couldn't cover Waller. First time Carr got pressured, couldn't get it to him. This time got it right to him in the seam. Easy peasy score. Again, my opinion on that, in that crazy play at the end, I think that kind of marks the end of the dynasty for the Patriots, just like the Tuck rules marked the beginning of their dynasty. I think they're done. I don't know if Belichick's going to be around next year. There's rumors he's not, but even if he is, I don't think they're going to be relevant for quite some time. I think their time is done. So what say you, though? I have talked enough. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm opening the chat room right now. If you want to come on, here we go. If you want to come on, I put the link. It's a pinned comment. So go ahead and put that in there. And let's see. Yep, it's still pinned. So click that link in the pinned comment at the top. You'll go into the green room and I will let you in. You can have your say. You can be on camera if you want, or you do not have to be on camera. It's your choice. So if you want to sound off, you go in here right now. Stick a fork in them. Stick a fork in them. Yeah, stick a fork in New England. They haven't been that good anyway. Let's be honest. I mean, definitely you could say they're the fourth best team in their division. So what say you? What do you guys got going on for Christmas as well? You guys traveling in this nonsense? We got some snow last night here. I know a lot of people are getting the bad weather the next few days. Should be clearing up for us soon. So hope. Little bit of snow, but a lot of ice. Very dangerous. If you are going to be traveling, be careful out there, guys. Officer Rollout says, watch the Franco game on TV. By the way, Franco and the Colonel were the same age. Well, I don't know how he passed. I didn't get that, but if you want, I see Psycho Jackal in here. I'm gonna let you in here in a minute. Family coming in at midnight tomorrow. Hang on, let me let Psycho in here. Hey, what's up, man? All right, Raider Nation, how you doing? What say you? What say you about this game?
But that's my take. I think we got this. I can't really tell if I'm still on this.
You guys hear me? Hello? Hello? Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth. When I do go, come on back, Psycho Jackal. I think I got the problem here. Basically, I need to have you on my speakers because for some reason it's not going through. I don't know why the desktop audio function on OBS is working. So when you talk, it should be going through, but it's not. So just to let you know, come on back and we'll do that again. So basically, Psycho Jackal was saying that the Raiders kind of tease you. You know, they get you excited and then they let you down. And he's saying that basically, yes, they will. He thinks they will win. I don't think so. I think this is going to be a loss. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a tough loss. But I kind of equate it to the Peanuts gang with you know, how they have the Halloween specials, the Christmas specials, and they have Charlie Brown at the beginning with Lucy in that football and saying, okay, Charlie Brown, you go ahead, come on back, Psycho Jackal. I think the problem was on my side. I got to put you on my speaker, my main speaker, so everybody on the live stream can hear you. So come on back when you get a chance. I appreciate that. But I think it's basically like Lucy in the football with these guys. They're like Lucy, and we're like Charlie Brown, believing, okay, this time it's gonna work. This time they're gonna be good. This time they're gonna make it, and then they take the ball away from us, and we end up flat on our butt. So that's how I feel about it, and it's kind of crazy, to be honest with you, because like I said, in the off season, you can go back to my videos. I was pointing out key problems with this team, and I was hoping that they would solve them. They didn't really solve them. They didn't go through them. I heard you, Psycho Jackal. The problem was I got to put you on my laptop speaker. For some reason, it's not transmitting through. It should be through OBS. I'm going to have to look at that. Unfortunately, it's not transmitting through to everybody else watching the live stream tonight, but I could hear you. So come on back. I will have you on the laptop speaker, and basically they'll be able to hear it through my microphone once you talk. So if you want to come on back, I don't know why I have the audio set up. It should be working. Excite then let down. Is this a sports show or tip for the lovelorn? Well, you tell me. If it was fantasy tips that roll out, you definitely wouldn't be involved. I mean, you know, you're hard pressed to even make the playoffs, right? So just saying. So anyway, yeah, we could do some fantasy football stuff. We got my league. We're down to the final four, of course. I am involved in that, so we'll see what happens. You never know any given Sunday. So I'm enjoying my chances. I'm still looking at the poll here. Will Carr overcome these sub-freezing temperatures? We're almost at 80-20 now with a yes. Very optimistic group. I'm hoping so. A lot of it's going to come down to him. Like I said, he can't hold on to the ball too long, and he can't make those bad throws into double coverage to Devontae Adams. Like I said, Micah Fitzpatrick is a beast. Got to look out for that guy. He's going to come and pick you off. You won't even know what's happening. So that's a big one. And just spread the ball around. You got Waller now. Hopefully he doesn't pull a pinky or something. He actually plays for more than one game. You know how I feel about him. Especially, I'm kind of surprised, especially now that we're basically almost out of it, that he's showing up. That's not normally his MO. His MO is normally to be injured until he either gets more money or, you know, we're in the hunt for a playoff spot, and then he comes showing up. So let's see. Anybody else wants to come back in? Psycho, you can come back in. If anybody else wants to join the studio, go ahead. I put it on the pinned comment there. You click on that. I let you in to the green room, and then you can chat as well. You can, or you do not have to be on camera. of course. You that is your choice. But I want to hear you guys sound off about this game. Do you guys? You guys are very optimistic. I'm kind of surprised, especially given our track record in these kind of games, especially if it snows. It's basically going to have to be the Josh Jacobs show for us to win this game, I think. And we need to generate some turnovers, which is entirely possible with this rookie quarterback Pickett. Like I said, even with Trubisky in there with the Ravens, he threw 3 interceptions in that game. So, and they couldn't run the ball. To me, that's the formula for this team. TJ Watt's back, but he's not 100%. He might not be this year. And the Steelers defense kind of reflects that. They have a very tough interior. Their corners can be taken, in my opinion, but the secondary is tough as well. They can stop the ball pretty well, but we got Josh Jacobs, the best in the business, in my opinion. And we have Al's Ghost here. Testing Al's Ghost. And you guys in the live stream, let me know if you can hear him as well. Go ahead, Al.
Testing.
I hear you.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.
I hear you. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going, champion?
It's going. I mean, I'm
doing well.
Still,
you were gone for a few weeks. Vacation or what's going on?
I was moving. I am in a new place and a new location, and I'm still in the middle of unpacking. Got most of my computer stuff set up. Still a few more things going on. But yeah, I moved. I have moved out of California. Thank God. Kind of tired of being taxed to death. And in a much better location, much better situation.
Congrats. Yeah, I'm still stuck in California paying these taxes and these housing prices. So kudos to you for making the brave move to move out.
Thank you. So what do you think about this game?
So this game tomorrow, yeah, I think it's gonna be a hard game. I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think that Pittsburgh Steelers defensive front, that front seven, is probably the biggest cause of worry that I have, aside from the weather. So I think it's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, and eventually, I do see the Raiders pulling it out, 16-13, with a Daniel Carlson field goal winner.
Wow.
But I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It has to be the Josh Jacobs show. So Josh has to run the ball effectively. I think having Bars and Parham possibly back could help us a lot. But ultimately, I foresee a pretty tight contest in chilly weather. But hopefully the Raiders pull it out and we keep our slim playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, did you catch my prediction, or did you come in a little later? I couldn't tell you because I had us losing 16-13. So that's a little weird that you had us winning 16-13. So.
Oh, I've been saying 16-13 all week on a bunch of different Raider lives with the Daniel Carlson winner. So that's just a happenstance. But yeah, no, I mean, I think we're pretty much aligned. It's going to be a tight game, a hard game. I think a lot, frankly, is made out of Derek Carr in cold weather, but ultimately Derek Carr doesn't play alone. And so I think he'll actually be fine. When he was part of the what is it? Is it the WAC? When he was part of his college conference, when he used to play with Fresno State, he used to go up to Wyoming and play out there pretty frequently. And I think he performed pretty well whenever he would go out there in cold weather. Obviously, this is a different kind of animal. It's going to be, I think, -4 with the wind chill. So it's going to be super, super cold. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, I think a lot's made out of Derek Carr in cold weather, and it's cold for everybody. I don't think it's too comfortable for the Steelers either, even though they're playing out there.
Yeah, but
it's
to me, it's the same thing as like Tampa. If you're living there, you get accustomed to it. Like Tampa with the humidity, they have an advantage early in the season. Same thing with Miami. But Pittsburgh, if you're living in that situation, you have it better than a dome team in the desert, in my opinion. Now, getting back to Derek Carr, I think there might be a little bit to that, but I think again, I think it's a lot skewed with the Chiefs because the Chiefs have been kind of a juggernaut. They just won the division again. I think that's 9 times in a row. So, and we lost to them earlier in the season. Like I said, it wasn't under 40 degrees. I think there was some statistic going around the last few years about Derek Carr can't win a game under 40-degree weather and all this other nonsense. But like you said, it's a whole team effort. That's why I said with Derek Carr in this type of game, turnovers are so critical because it's going to be tough. Everybody's going to want to try to run the ball. It's going to be harder to pass the ball, the situation, catch the ball, especially I'm getting conflictions of whether or not it's going to snow. If it does, that's going to make it even worse. So can't throw those passes into double coverage. Looking down Devontae Adams, you got to stop doing that. And we got to get a couple turnovers off of Pickett one way or the other, or the running backs, stripping the running backs. We've done that before. And I think those two things are going to decide it, and slowing down, not just necessarily Najee Harris, but they have a committee basically. Najee gets the majority of the carries, but he's not really a bell cow like a Derrick Henry or something like that. So it's just going to be stopping them overall. Make Pickett beat you. I know he's got Freiermuth. He's got George Pickens there, a rookie guy who I think could very well be another Odell Beckham in his prime once he gets going. So to your point, though, I don't think it's just Carr, but there's a little bit to that. Like I said, mistakes. Can't get 90 yards in penalties like we did last week. That was ridiculous. 4 false starts. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, it was week 15 for crying out loud. How do you get 4 false starts? Like I said, you can hold a player. If somebody's coming to break Derek Carr in half and you hold the guy, then you saved him. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take that. It's like the other side where a guy breaks free and you get a PI on him so he doesn't break an 80-yard touchdown. Totally understandable, but how do you get 4 false starts in a game? It's just the lack of discipline and the coaching and the preparation. The only thing that really saved us was that the Patriots, to me, were less prepared, which is weird with Belichick, the GOAT, the all-time. You can't say anything against him. His teams look like crap this year. Let's just say it. Mac Jones, still not convinced. I haven't been convinced yet. Still not convinced of that guy. I know some guys had some drop passes, but there was a lot of off-target throws as well. So to me, it's going to be a close game. I think the difference is probably going to be the weather at some point. Hopefully we don't turn the ball over and give the game away. Again, this is like the 50th anniversary of the Franco Harris Immaculate Reception nonsense. And then he passed away. There could be a little bit more motivation for the Steelers. Of course, they set the schedule up in advance to do that. So they played the Raiders at home. Christmas Eve night. It's going to be cold. Steeler faithful are going to be there screaming and yelling. I think that's probably going to make the difference in this game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's going to be a close, tight contest. I will say if we play clean football, stay away from the penalties, stay ahead on the down and distance, stay on schedule with first and second down, we should beat this team. The Steelers are not a good football team, and they're actually a pretty bad home team. I was just looking at their home record. They're 2-4 this season, so they're not a juggernaut at home. So I definitely think that this is a winnable game, and getting after, Kenny Pickett and putting pressure on him, in addition to being encouraged by Alex Barr and Dylan Parham possibly playing, I'm also encouraged by Chandler Jones picking it up over the last few weeks. It seems like he's now turning into that effective pass rusher that we thought he was going to be going into this season. So if, Chandler Jones could continue the upward trend, the upward trajectory of him playing and playing effectively, and most importantly, finishing at the quarterback. I could see us wrecking havoc. That being said, the Steelers do have a pretty decent offensive line, but I think we should be able to handle them with, Max Crosby on one end and Chandler Jones on the other. Do you know the latest on Bilal Nichols by any chance? Do you know if he's playing? I think he's questionable.
He's questionable. They haven't said definitively one way or the other. As far as the Steelers' offensive line, I think their strength is interior, not so much on the outside. So I think the matchup favors us there, just like the matchup on the other side favors them on the interior line with Ogunjobi and Cam Hayward. That's going to be a problem. I'm happy TJ Watt is not 100%. He's back, but obviously he's not 100%. He's still a good player. So I think when he's at 100%, this defense is completely different and it's really dominating. But to get back to your point with the Steelers team not being very good, you got to remember they got a rookie quarterback, and not just he's going to be prone to mistakes getting adjusted to the speed of the game. Not only that, but it's all about timing with an offense and rookie. I mean, look at past rookies. I mean, look at even like Peyton Manning. He had 2 Hall of Famers he was playing with, and he threw like 18 or 20 interceptions his rookie season. So it's going to take time. There's a little bit of a learning curve there. So hopefully we can take advantage of it. And with Chandler Jones kind of coming on now, finally, and Max Crosby always there, I'm hoping for some turnovers. If it's a strip sack fumble, like I said, if we hit him as he throws and it turns into an interception, if we can get a tip somewhere and it turns into, I'm taking it. We need turnovers. We need to win the turnover battle and be able to run the ball. I think those are the 2 big things in this game. It's going to be crazy. Like you said, the wind chill, it's 11 degrees. I've heard it at kickoff. With wind chill, it's going to be -0. Of course, you said what, -4. It varies, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. It's going to be hard to throw the ball when it's cold. It's hard to catch the ball when it's cold. Got to have the running game going. I know Pittsburgh's run defense is in the top 10, that their interior is one of the better ones, but Josh Jacobs is there. We got to be able to establish the run and not turn the ball over. Basic fundamentals, and don't get all those penalties. So I got a few people. Carlos says, I'm hoping McDaniels can generate a game plan for the team, especially for Carr in the cold, since McDaniels comes from a cold environment in New England. Yeah, but he's not going to be the one playing out there too. I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for a little bit better preparation. Again, I'm not giving the nod to McDaniels beating Belichick last week. I think the Patriots looked awful in that game, and if they had like even a decent quarterback in that game instead of Mac Jones, they probably would have won the game. That's my opinion. Aside from that stupid play at the end, Officer Rollout says, "Keep your chin up." I'm sorry, Jags can beat the bad but Dallas defense. Carr can learn to get the ball out double quick, works well with Trevor, keeps the tangles out of his mane. Well, yeah, Carr's up and down on that. And I've talked about that. There's times where he's, like I said, he looks like he's played scared, and there's times where he's given his body, he's literally jumping over defenders trying to rush for a first down. There's times where he gets the ball out quick, and then there's times where he's just got tunnel vision on Devontae Adams, and he's looking at him literally for 5 or 10 seconds, and then he gets sacked. And you're not going to get that long. You're not going to get that long in the National Football League. So a little bit more consistency from Derek Carr would be nice. I do know he made that drive against the Patriots, and a lot of people say Keelan Cole could have been out of bounds. To me, I showed it last week in the review. It could have been 50-50 depending on the angle. But still, it probably should have went to overtime anyway. But again, the Patriots shot themselves in the foot once again. Let's be honest here. And I think we took advantage of it. They kind of outrated us, to be honest with you. Normally we make stupid mistakes like that. So let's see. Al's Ghost. One more thing I want to ask you before you go, Al. Al's Ghost, rather. What do you think? Do you think we can run the table and go 9-8? I know a lot of Raider Nation. I know there's optimism. I want to get your thoughts on that. After this game, we have our last 2 games, regular season at home, San Francisco, of course, and the Chiefs. What do you say about that? How do you think it's going to play out these last 3 games?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good question, champion. Obviously, it's a week-to-week league, so the team should be focused on Pittsburgh. I think this is a tough game on the road. This is the first order of business to take care of business in Pittsburgh. But I do think, if the Raiders pull this win off in Pittsburgh, I think they'll go into that game against San Francisco, or should I say Santa Clara, and then finish off against the Chiefs in a strong fashion. So I think this win on Christmas Eve could really motivate the team to close out and hopefully, win out the rest of the way. Realistically speaking, I don't think so. I don't think that we win out. I think that the Niners, they just have, probably a top 3, top 2 defense, if not the best defense in the entire NFL. So I think it's going to be tough to score on them. And Brock Purdy, seems to have some sort of, going through like a magical phase early on in his career. So I think it's going to be tough to beat the 49ers. On the flip side, I do think that we probably beat the Chiefs if they have everything wrapped up by week 17. Or I guess technically it's week 18 and they're all done with the season. So I think if the Chiefs have all of their goals accomplished by the last game of the season, then they play with a bunch of backups and we could, eke out a win there. But realistically speaking, I think it's tough, but this game is key in order to keep any of those hopes alive to finish off strong with wins against Santa Clara and the Chiefs. How about you? What do you think?
I think at best we win 2 more games. At best, this one I honestly think can go either way. I think I give it the advantage to Pittsburgh being at home, given the weather issue. On paper, I don't think they're better than us. I think their defense is better. I think the weather can play a huge advantage. That's why I have them giving them a slight edge in this one. San Francisco. I mean, they went and got Christian McCaffrey, for crying out loud, and he looks like a new player. He's out of purgatory in Carolina, playing well. Sad what happened with Debo, but like you said, Brock Purdy's in there, and he was lighting it up against Tampa, and was one of the better defenses. They looked awful. Tom Brady looks his age now. I don't know what's going on with that. They've got an amazing defense. That would be a heck of a game, even though it's at home. And both these teams, San Francisco and the Chiefs, to me, they're both going to be vying for a playoff position, especially the Chiefs with Buffalo there still. Remember, there's 7 playoff spots, but only one gets a bye. Only the top team gets a bye. So I think that's still going to be in play. I still think we're going to see Mahomes in the full complement, Kelsey and all of them. They're not going to have it all wrapped up. They're going to want to play for that first round bye. I don't think it's going to be settled by then. At best, we get 2 of these. We'll probably end up getting 1 and maybe going 7-10. But I'm thinking maybe 8 and 9. There's no way. If we go 9 and 8, that would be unbelievable. To me, I wouldn't say it would be as amazing as last season's finish, but relatively close given the level of competition. The Chargers were choke artists. Let's be honest. The Colts the same way. All they had to do was win 1 game of their last 3. They would have been in the playoffs. They choked it out, including against us and then Jacksonville. But the level of competition is going to be crazy right now. And just given the weather, it's going to be tough for us. If this was in our house, I think we win by double digits, to be honest with you. But it's not. It is what it is. So let's see. You got any other final thoughts? We'll close this out as far as the Raiders go. The Immaculate Reception. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, if you don't know, we can get into that a little bit if you want to talk about that. That's a real old school. That play changed a lot in NFL history. Let's just say that. I'll say that. And if there's anything else you want to add before we kind of close this one out, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, thanks, champion. Yeah, actually, as you were talking about that, I was going to say, I mean, the other reason why this game is really tricky, well, number one, it's in Pittsburgh, and number two, it's going to be cold there. But number three, obviously, the untimely passing of Franco Harris earlier this week could serve as a motivating factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. And so I do find that concerning. You know, I could see, you know, the Steelers really rallying, you know, behind the death of one of their all-time greats and wanting to put on a great performance. And I understand that Franco Harris's jersey is going to be retired during halftime. So, you know, it could be very motivating for them, similar to how how the Raiders beat the Texans, I think it was, right after the passing of Al Davis. Mm-hmm. So it could serve as a point of rallying for the Steelers. But yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the most controversial plays in NFL history. It happened way before I was born, but I've read a lot about it and watched documentaries. And if you ask me, you know, the ball hit Jack Tatum pretty clearly, which I think based on the rule at the time, it would have been an incomplete pass at that point and the game would have been over. But yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. And actually something else that I read about, which was interesting earlier this week, obviously the quarterback for the Steelers at the time was Terry Bradshaw, who wore number 12. And then obviously there's another TB12 who was infamous for the tuck rule game many years later. So it seems like TB12s have been, you know, a thorn at Raiders' side for quite a bit of time. But yeah, very controversial play. You know, an iconic play in NFL history. It'd be great if the Raiders pull off the win this week and sort of exercise the demons. They kind of did last week a little bit, I feel like, with the tuck rule game, with Chandler Jones shoving Mac Jones down to the ground. So maybe we could do something similar tomorrow night in a frigid Pittsburgh night. But thanks for having me, champion. Really appreciate it. I'll let you close out the show, and go Raiders.
Go Raiders indeed. Yeah, I'm a little worried Najee Harris is going to channel his inner Franco Harris and go crazy. But I do appreciate you coming on, Al's Ghost. Thank you very much. If you're not familiar with Immaculate Reception, it was the 1972 playoffs against Pittsburgh, and they were fourth down. They threw the ball to Frenchie Fuqua, and instead of making a play on the ball, Tatum goes and hits. He liked to hit people, if you didn't know. Let's just say that. But anyway, the controversy is it deflected and went, and Franco Harris is sitting there like a goof doing nothing. It just comes right to him. He catches it and runs in for a touchdown, wins the game. Now, the controversy is at the time, another player on the offensive team could not touch the ball first and another player catch the ball. So if Fuqua did deflect that ball, if he touched it, then that should have been a not complete a pass at the time with the rules there. So I think they determined it was Tatum who touched it. It's hard to see if you watch the replays. It could have been either way, to be honest with you. I think Franco, luckiest guy on the planet that day. Let's be honest, it just literally dropped into his hands. Right place, right time. But I say it's very important in NFL history because you remember, this is 72 playoffs. Miami Dolphins, undefeated, right? I don't think they would have been undefeated if they had to play the silver and black. I'm just going to say that right now. I think they got a pass, to be honest with you. There would be no undefeated teams. Maybe they would have let the Patriots win that one time where they lost to the Giants. I don't know. But I don't think the 72 Dolphins weren't that really good. The 73 Dolphins, in my opinion, were even better if you look at it statistically and how they played. and they played against Washington in that Super Bowl, and it was kind of a comedy of errors if you watch the highlights on that. So, again, thank you for coming on, Al's Ghost. Thank you for everybody who's been here supporting the channel as well. Next year, like I said, I moved, not completely moved, starting to get settled in. We're going to be doing some major changes starting next year, next off season. Got a lot of good ideas, some changes coming. I will let you know some details on that. Get to some of your final comments. Officer Roulette, Brady retires this year and goes into politics. I don't know about that. I think he needs to get his head cleared up from Giselle and all that nonsense. I think he's been coddled enough. I could totally see him going into the booth for sure and staying there. Let's be honest. Kind of like that idiot Steve Young. Yeah, I called him an idiot. You should watch him when he talks, when he does Raider games. You can tell he can't stand the Raiders, and he talks his crap, and he really doesn't know anything about silver and black. To be honest with you, when he talks, it's like, what are you saying? You call it the wrong players, and he's just an idiot, to be honest with you. But I see Brady doing something similar, going in the booth and all that nonsense. So, Sandy B says Raiders need to go all out. Nothing to lose at this point. Yeah, that was kind of the similar situation last season. They kind of played one out and won 4 in a row and won. It was improbable run with the interim coach and the thing with Ruggs and Arnett and all that happening. I'd say that's a bigger pull than this year. Plus, like I said, the competition's not the same. The Colts and Chargers are crap compared to the 49ers and Chiefs. So, Al, you're a great guest. Absolutely. Al's a great guest. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sandy B, best show on the channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. And again, if you guys want to come on, I will be on Christmas evening. Hopefully everybody unwraps their presents, has a nice dinner. You guys come on. We'll talk about the game. I'll bring the chat. I got to point the wrong way. Got to bring the chat open for you guys. If you guys want to come out, you can tell me your best present if you want to. Hopefully we talk about a Raider victory. Like I said, I predicted Pittsburgh slight edge, given what I said, but I'm of course rooting for the Raiders as a Raider fan. Al Michaels is borderline unprofessional when he calls Raider games. Not only him, Chris Collinsworth, that piece of crap, the PFF idiot guy, he is awful. And I'll just say this. You want to talk about Chris Collinsworth, the type of guy he is? You can go on YouTube and watch some videos he made as a player in his 20s, talking about the kind of females he likes and how young he likes them. And yeah, Chris Collinsworth. Now there's a guy. I'll just say that. I can't say the word, you know what I'm saying, because then I'll get in trouble, but he can do certain things, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, with that said, I'm going to close this one out. Hit the like button like Sandy B says, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Again, if you've watching this, I get a lot of people watching these on replays. Why not come in here and join us? You can join us in chat. You can join us on the chatting stream here as well. I'm closing out the poll. A lot of you, 84% says yes, Carr will overcome the sub-freezing temperatures, 11, 12 degrees. 16% say no. Big change. Honestly, a big change from where we had that earlier. Let's see. One more thing, Sandy B says, just like there are refs that are out against the Raiders with their calls. Well, that's a whole nother subject, Sandy B. We could talk about that. We talked a little bit about last week during the game review. Is the NFL rigged? Is it WWE sports entertainment? I've kind of laid some pieces, some suggested evidence that it might be. We can go into that in this game review as well. That said, I hope the Raiders win, but I think it's going to be a close one, a tight one, and they're gonna get one for Franco. It is what it is, and honestly, neither one of these teams is going anywhere. Let's be honest. In 2022, we'd have to win out and get help. So would the Steelers. It's not a hugely consequential game as far as this season goes. Let's be honest, but of course, being fans, we want to win every game. So with that said, thank you very much for coming out. Enjoy this. We'll be back Christmas evening, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Raider time. And until then, as always, go Raiders.
Ask you something. With all the distractions that you have off the field, how are you able to keep focused on winning football games as you do and do throughout the year?
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.